Well, hey, everybody. I'm here with Doug Kemper of the Colorado Water Congress. Doug, I can tell you there's a lot of people in Douglas County, they don't know your name. They don't, I know, shocker. But they don't know what the Water Congress does here in Colorado. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about the Water Congress, what they've done in the past, what they do today.
Okay, great. Thank you for that question. And my name again is Doug Kemper, and I'm the Executive Director of the Colorado Water Congress. And the Water Congress was created in 1958 by the governor of the state, Governor Steve McNichols, who was a Democrat, and Attorney General Duke Dunbar. You probably don't know that name, but he was our longest serving Attorney General. He was a Republican. And with the full support of the Colorado Legislature, they realized that we needed to have an organization that spoke for the water community. We have state agencies, such as primarily the Colorado Water Conservation Board, that sets policy, water policy for the state, and they deal with state-to-state interactions. They also fund water projects. There didn't at that time exist an organization that truly represented the water users. Oregon had one, Utah had one, but we didn't have a centralized voice for those that own water rights and deal with water professionally every day. So they created the organization in 1958, and we are governed by a 34-member board from all over the state, all different kinds of water usage and types of use, and so that's what we're created to do. We put on the two largest conferences related to water in the state, our annual one that we just finished up today, and we do a summer one in August. And those, we have anywhere from 300 to 600 folks there, water professionals, that work in water each and every day, where we keep everybody current on what's going on. The other two things that you should know is that we also work very heavily with the Colorado Legislature. And so we have a State Affairs Committee that meets every Monday morning through the legislative session, which runs from mid-January to mid-May, 120 days. So we have about 100 people typically online that review the 30 to 40 pieces of water legislation that we typically see every year. 7 to 8% of all bills introduced in the Colorado Legislature have a water tie every year, in addition to all the other things they're doing. Yeah. So we review those, and then I kind of look at it more as like we're advisors to the legislature on these things. So we usually will have 3 or 4 or 5 legislators that attend our meetings. We discuss the bills that they're doing, discuss what issues that may be related to those bills. And we typically take positions on those bills, and about 80 to 85% of what we support gets signed into law. And almost never do we have a bill that we oppose get signed into law. Just a side plug for our legislature. We have, I think, and I work with a lot of other states around the West. Yeah. We have, I think, the best legislature in the West, and I brag on them constantly. They don't go off the rails on water issues. They may introduce some things that are like, what? But we just don't have we have a legislature that really stays right where they need to be. Doesn't matter if the Republicans or the Democrats are in control. We're nonpartisan, but we've really been very fortunate over the years to have a legislature that cares about water, and that's really huge. One last thing the organization does, as I mentioned, we also work on the federal level through a group called the National Water Resources Association. Most of the western states, almost all, have an organization similar to ours, and that organization works on water issues in DC. So that's mainly what we focus on. I think I skipped over the question you asked me, who am I? I've been running the Colorado Water Congress. I'm executive director. I've been in that position for coming on 17 years now. And for 20 years prior to that, I was the Aurora Water Resources Manager. So I was responsible for acquisition and management and planning for all of the city's water supplies for 20 years. I have a bachelor's and master's degrees in civil engineering and water resources engineering. So that's a little bit about who I am.
All right, well, the people of Douglas County know the name of Doug Kemper.
Now they do.
And they know what the Colorado Water Congress does.